There, okay. Now let me give a proper Coca-Cola welcome. It wouldn't be a Coca-Cola speech if you didn't have a Coca-Cola in your hand. So believe it or not, I work for Coca-Cola, but I love the drink as well. So if you don't mind, I'll enjoy one while I speak. As Fernando said, my name is Ted Ryan. I've been with Coca-Cola for 16 years now. I have been an archivist for 25, 26 years now. Bit of background, before Coke, I was the Bobby Jones curator. If anybody is a golf fan, I got to spend 2 years playing golf courses and talking to old golfers. If you watch the Masters tournament every year, I would go catalog all the items in the Eisenhower cabin and the Butler cabin. I also built a baseball museum, which got me my job at Coke. It was for the Atlanta Braves, the Atlanta baseball team, and the manager of the Coke archives came in and liked it enough that he offered me a job the next day. So 16 years later, here I am standing on a stage in Brazil. I've been to Brazil I was trying to count, it's between 3 or 5 times. When I wrote the book on the history of Coke in Latin America, we did interviews and oral histories with our bottlers, with some of our partners, some of our customers throughout Latin America, including several in Brazil. So I got to spend several days in Rio and Porto Alegre, a couple of other locations. With that, let me go ahead and speak about our Heritage Center. And before I did that, I wanted to give you a view. When I received the invitation to speak, I spoke to our chairman and our chairman's speechwriter because part of what I thought Fernando wanted me to do was to give a perspective from a business perspective. What is the archives and what do the archives mean to Coca-Cola? With that, here is an actual quote from the chairman about what he thinks about heritage and about the Coca-Cola archives. The 127 years of collective wisdom and a knowledge and intellectual property that come from our heritage are invaluable to us as our business continues to change. Note, as our business continues to change, we don't look back. We have a heritage center, but we always look forward. Our past is not something that we look back on to celebrate as a static remembrance, but it's an active, organic precursor to our future. The psychic and emotional income that comes from being a part of the organization with a rich heritage is priceless. It shapes who we are and what we want to become and keeps us constructively discontented. The values that are embraced by our heritage have benefited me on a personal level. Within Coca-Cola, we have, one of our chairmen famously said that what kept him going was to be constructively discontented, to always want more, to always want to grow. So within our heritage, within our framework, you get that same feel of constructive discontent. Okay. Talk a little slower. You can always tell when I get excited because I speak faster and faster when I get excited. So if I go fast, somebody give me the stop sign and I'll slow down. This slide that is right here is proof of that. The Coca-Cola Company several years ago declared a 2020 vision that by the year 2020 we would double the growth of our company. And in order to do that, heritage has to play a role. And part of my job is to make sure that we do play a role with our 2020 vision. You can see that this is a current marketing slide right now, which spells out our goal. Coca-Cola is unique and special to me and to everybody. How can heritage play a role within that special and unique capability? I will go slow, but I'm going to show you a video right now that I dug into the archives. This is a film from Brazil in 1947 with showing footage of both Rio and São Paulo. So.
Outdoor displays are equally important in Coca-Cola's advertising in Rio, the capital of Brazil and second city of the continent. Rio is a beautiful metropolis of magnificent avenues and boulevards. Its splendid buildings are a herald to its growth. And these imposing Coca-Cola posters are a tribute to its most popular drink. No beach in the world is more famous than Rio's Copacabana. People travel from all parts of the globe to bathe in its waters, to lie on its sands. Its mosaic-patterned sidewalks are one of its features of interest. This is the popular Copacabana Palace Hotel, near which is another Coca-Cola painted bulletin. The Brazilian city of Sao Paulo also has many large bulletins and posters. Sao Paulo is the fastest growing large city of all Latin America, boasting modern buildings, excellent schools, and up-to-date mills. Its cool climate and cosmopolitan society make it ideal to many as a place of permanent residence. This spectacular is now under construction on the second highest building in the city. When completed, it will revolve so that the Coca-Cola trademark can be seen from all sides.
That was part of a series of videos that Coca-Cola shot from around the world in 1947. We have video from Argentina, from Mexico City, from Egypt, from Paris, and all of them were to document the growth of the Coca-Cola company around the world. I did not give the background on Coca-Cola. I'll do that quickly. The company was founded in 1886 in Atlanta, Georgia, where we're still headquartered. So we're 127 years old. It's one of the best known brands in the world. And the trademark Coca-Cola is commonly identified as the best known trademark. And our famous contour bottle is considered the best known consumer package in the world, which we'll get to in a minute. When Fernando sent the meeting agenda, I was really struck by two different elements that were going to be called out in detail, or that will be called out in detail over the next few days. But one of them being heritage and communications, and one of the questions that he asked in there are, how do our tools advance our reputation? And in our case, we have some very specific examples I wanted to give about what we do in heritage to advance the reputation of the Coca-Cola company. Earlier this year, the New York Times wrote a very, very negative editorial about the Coca-Cola company and our role in race relations in the United States. It's one that in the archives we felt was just despicable and inaccurate. It accused us of basically ignoring the African American customers from our very founding. We very quickly, and I'll get into more details on Coca-Cola Journey, which is our web magazine, but within a few hours, we had penned a response to that editorial and had produced and documented a story that showed that not only had we not ignored the African American community, we had actually celebrated and had helped the African American soda fountain community grow, and that Asa Candler, one of our founding fathers, was actually a huge benefactor to African American soda fountains. It's something that could not have been done in the age before the web. In the age before the web, if a newspaper wrote a negative piece on you, you had to write a letter to the editor, you had to wait and see if they would vet it, you had to then deal with the corrections that they would make. In this particular case, we were able to, within just a few short hours, now I will say our entire team sprang into action to do the research in our collection to show that what we were saying was true. But within a few short hours, we had penned the response to the editorial, and all the media requests that came in about the editorial, we just sent them straight to our website, Coca-Cola Journey, where they could read it for themselves. So how can we advance our reputation? You can respond to an attack. You can also do something that's a little bit different. For the longest time, our chairman, Robert W. Woodruff, used to say the goal of PR is to be caught in the act of doing good. Do good and just hope that somebody notices that you're doing good. And the company, we have a very, 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 very long history of corporate social responsibility. We show that all the way back as early as 1900, our company was active. We were helping people in need. We've been a Red Cross sponsor since 1917. Think of the Coca-Cola company and the Red Cross have been partners for almost 100 years. So we would go along and we would hope that people would catch us in the act of doing good. That doesn't work today. You have to say what you're doing from a corporate social responsibility viewpoint. And within the heritage, we have been pulling out these stories, and we've been putting them on our different social media sites to be more apparent. Here's a very personal one for me. My father actually contracted polio back in 1947. So October is World Polio Awareness Month. So I pulled out the story. Many of you may not know, but Coca-Cola was the largest distributor of the polio vaccine in Argentina, Peru, and a few other Latin American countries. The polio vaccine had to be delivered cold. Who has the best trucking fleet to deliver cold vaccine? The Coca-Cola company. So I wrote this blog post that appeared on Coca-Cola Journey in response to Polio Awareness Month. Once again, it's something that we can put a good news story out there, something that shines a light on the Coca-Cola company in a little bit different manner than you might expect, and highlight and enhance our reputation. One of the other questions that Fernando posed, and it was in the section on heritage and organizational culture, and I found this question fascinating. I'll read it for you. Is it possible that the documents, while artifacts, become a depiction of beliefs and values of the organization? I would argue 100% yes. And the long speech that you have there, I won't read the whole thing, but this was done by our lead attorney, and it was done in 1914. And it's Harold Hirsch. He said, "We are not building Coca-Cola alone for today. We are building Coca-Cola forever. And it is our hope that Coca-Cola will remain the national drink until the end of time. The heads of your companies are doing everything in their power at considerable expense to bring about a bottle that we can adopt and call our child." What was that bottle? The rest of the quote is interesting as well, but what was that bottle? It was the Contour bottle. As early as 1914, or actually as early as 1912, we were working on the idea of a bottle. But then in 1915, this shape that you see right here was patented. And this document, this invaluable, irreplaceable document to me, is the very first draft of the Coca-Cola bottle. We actually we have an acquisitions budget in our department, and we were fortunate enough to acquire this at auction just a few short years ago. And next year, or in 2 years rather, will be the 100th anniversary of the Contour bottle. And this document will go on display around the world in a number of museums as we're curating a display on the Contour package. I described it as the world's most famous consumer goods package. We have another saying that says the only thing that's a better package is the egg, and God created that one. But this will go on display with Andy Warhol art. It will go on display with any number of different things, and will be used to celebrate the centennial. While not a document, this shows you the way that heritage is incorporated into our marketing program. As I said, the 100th anniversary is coming up. Our marketing group is already working with us to make sure that Contour is celebrated.